Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes held their pro day on Friday, and the Tennessee Titans were in attendance. And we're going to break it all down on just how impressed they were and what this means come the NFL draft in just a few weeks. But first, I got to ask you guys, pick a quarterback. Do you want to go for the Titans, Shedeur Sanders, or do you want to go with the reasonable pick here, Cam Ward? Type SS for Shedeur Sanders, type CW for Cam Ward, and we can get today's video started. Welcome into the Titans Today. I am your host, Brett Alper, and we're going to be talking about all of the things that Shedeur Sanders did in his pro day. Now, I'm going to start off just what exactly people said about Shedeur Sanders and his pro day. We got a tweet from Jordan Schultz, shout out to him, and he said, regarding Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders, I asked a top-level executive who was at the Colorado Buffaloes pro day to describe what he saw. I just think he throws a really catchable ball. Accuracy is one thing, but catchability is another. Shedeur's got both, and watching him live today, there was more power, more velocity than I expected. He's definitely a pocket guy, but athletic enough to buy time and make plays. His offensive line was always an issue in college, but turnovers never were. Now, USA Today, they talked about Shedeur Sanders' pro day, and they gave him a B+. Now, if we remember going back a couple weeks ago to Cam Ward's pro day, everybody was absolutely glazing him. And I mean, they were on him. Pause. But if you look at just what they saw from him and what you saw from Sanders, it's just he's very good, but just a little bit below Cam Ward. Now, Shedeur Sanders, he feels like he's the number one quarterback in the draft. And obviously, if you got confidence, you want to be that number one quarterback in the draft. Me personally, I don't agree with it. But he also said this at his pro day. He spoke to the media. Travis Hunter did not speak to the media. He said, I feel like I'm the number one quarterback, and that's what I know. But at the end of the day, I am not stuck on that because it's about the situation. So whatever situation and whatever franchise believes in me and gives me the opportunity, I'll be excited to go. Wherever that falls, it doesn't really matter to me. Well, that tells me one thing. He doesn't know if he's going number one. And the Titans, they've been very clear, and they're being very thorough throughout this process. They haven't said straight up who they're going to draft. They haven't talked about it whatsoever. They said, we're going to go through everything. They could even go the best person, the best player in the NFL draft, whoever the top talent is. I think they're going to go quarterback. But Borgonzi was impressed with Sanders and Hunter. He showed up. Chad Brinker showed up. We're going to get to all that later in the show. But Brian Callahan was absent from the pro day. And Mike Borgonzi, he saw what he saw from Cam Ward's pro day, and he saw what he saw from Shedeur Sanders' pro day. And this is the quote from him after watching Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur threw the ball well, and we got to see him out there with Travis and Shedeur. Everything you see on film, he is one of the twitchiest athletes I've ever seen. Talking about Travis Hunter. He's impressive. And it's good to see Shedeur go through his whole entire workout. And the 2-minute drill after, it just confirms what you saw on tape. He can drive the deep ball. You saw that here today. So it was a really good workout. Now, me personally, I have Sanders number 2 on my draft board. I think Cam Ward excels just a little bit better. There was also what I saw on tape from Sanders, and this was a whole big topic on Twitter, and it was when he was dropping back, every time he was about to throw the pass, tap the ball, tap the ball, tap the ball. If you look at the top quarterbacks in the draft, or top quarterbacks in the NFL, you never saw Tom Brady do it. You never really saw Aaron Rodgers do it. You see quarterbacks nowadays doing it, but that was just a big topic. I don't really know if that's going to completely change the factor on what people think about Shedeur Sanders. I mean, if we go watch tape of Caleb Williams, he does the same exact thing. But people get really, really pressed when you're tapping the ball. It kind of shows what you're going through your progressions looking. Now, there's also a lot of things that Shedeur Sanders does particularly well. And I'm going to show you 2 stats, and it's just going to, it really sets the tape between what makes Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders better than some of the other quarterbacks in the draft, like Jackson Dart or even the guy who's jumping boards, who I think shouldn't, Tyler Shugg. If we look at the three top quarterbacks in this draft versus pressure, you can see clearly Shedeur Sanders is the top. He's got the best completion percentage, way better than Jackson Dart at 46.1%. And he can handle the pressure better than any quarterback. 12 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, 8 big-time throws, and 6 turnover-worthy plays. Now you have Cam Ward, 9 touchdown, 12, but this Cam Ward loves to just find the deep ball. He is erratic. He will try to fit that ball in any place he possibly could. And if we look at Shedeur Sanders in the pocket in 2024, when he's kept clean, this man is absolutely dominant. 80.8 completion percentage, 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 8 big-time throws. Under pressure, that drops a ton, but when he's not blitzed, 75.4%, 22 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 15 big-time throws, and only 6 turnover-worthy plays. It is clear when Shedeur Sanders can sit back there in the pocket, he is one of the top quarterbacks in college football and can be a top quarterback if he gets drafted to the right team with a great offensive line. We see what Mike Borgonzi has done with the Titans' offensive line, prioritized it in free agency. You sign Dan Moore Jr. to that big contract. You get a veteran like Kevin Zeitler. They are ready to bring in a new quarterback, and the number one priority is protecting that quarterback. So I'm going to ask you guys this question. Do you want the Titans to draft Shedeur Sanders? Type D for draft, type P for pass. Me personally, I want Cam Ward. I've made it very clear that I want Cam Ward on this roster, and we're going to completely talk about it. We're going to talk about why I truly think that they go to Pro Day. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But I think that this is an absolute smokescreen. And we're going to completely go over on why, but I got to tell you about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Fanatics. The draft is less than just about, I think it's 19 days away now. It's the April 24th. Do quick maths here, but you can get your draft hats. Whoever that first pick in the NFL draft that's going to be, he's going to be wearing this hat right here. And you can get yours today. Chatsports.com/Titans draft hats. You can get it in white. You can get it in black. You can get it in blue. You can also get it with a little guitar symbol right around it. Get yours today. Chatsports.com/Titans draft hats. If you don't want to type it out, nobody ever wants to type out a lot of things, but I'll put it in the comments of today's video. Chatsports.com/Titans draft hats. Get yours today. You know you're going to want to. It's going to be a great day when we see that number 1 overall pick. And hopefully, it's a quarterback. So, I've talked about it a lot. Honestly, I think this is just all smoke. And the Tennessee Titans, they've talked about it enough that they are going to draft Cam Ward. And there's many reasons why I think the Tennessee Titans are going to draft Cam Ward. And the first thing I want to talk about is just their approach to the Colorado Buffaloes Pro Day. We only saw, there was a bunch of people, but we only saw the big heads. Chad Brinker wasn't supposed to go. We saw Mike Borgonzi there. But if we take a look at this tweet from Ian Rappaport from a couple days ago before Colorado Pro Day, he said Titans president of basketball or football ops, Chad Brinker, and coach Brian Callahan won't be present at Colorado Pro Day. Having seen Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter multiple times, they'll be a part of a large Tennessee contingent at an April 9th private workout for both players. Now, I know that is interesting, but Brinker did show up to the Pro Day. Callahan didn't. And we talk about, okay, they've seen him a bunch of times. They're going to have him in for a workout. But the one big thing, if you go a couple weeks ago, the Titans sent the whole organization to Cam Ward's Pro Day. Every single big person. They wanted to watch. And when they were at Pro Day, from all the pictures that I've seen from Colorado Pro Day, is they were kind of just there. They were watching. They really enjoyed watching Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter. But if we go back a couple weeks ago to Cam Ward's Pro Day, the vibes were immaculate. You had Cam Ward running down the sidelines, throwing passes, staring down Mike Borgonzi, smiling, saying, yeah, come on, draft me. And then after, they were taking pictures together, talking to each other. They were trying to get really comfortable with the coaching staff, with the general manager, with president of football ops. It just seems like the vibes were just completely different. They were way higher than what you saw just on Friday at Colorado Pro Day. It's like, yeah, we like Shedeur Sanders, but we have such a higher grade on Cam Ward. And then we had this come out later today. I already had this video made and ready to publish, and then Jim Wyatt just dropped this absolute bombshell on us. And I've said it before, but I think this just is the absolute deal breaker that, hey, Cam Ward is going to be a Tennessee Titan. Jim Wyatt said this: after yesterday's Colorado Pro Day, Titans brass met with Shedeur Sanders camp, and the parties have agreed to cancel the upcoming private workout. Now, I'll say this. Brian Callahan was supposed to attend this workout, and that's why he didn't attend Pro Day. They say this: the Titans have seen 4 years of game film, scouted multiple games, and now attended a Pro Day they described as very impressive. I'm not buying it. I am not buying it whatsoever. If you really liked Shedeur Sanders, you would have brought him in for a workout. You have enough game film of Cam Ward. You brought Cam Ward in for a private workout. Why are you just out of nowhere just saying, Shedeur, we've seen enough. We don't need to work out. The writing is on the wall, people. And then we had this from an article in The Athletic. It comes from an NFL executive, and they said this about the Titans' first pick. No way they are not picking Ward, an anonymous exec said of the Titans. They are trying to drum up an extraordinary deal, but no one is going to give that. They will take Cam Ward unless someone gives them something stupid. It's the NFL. We saw Luka Doncic get traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. I know it's the NBA, but anything can happen in professional sports, and there is always something that you can see that is stupid. And then we had something come out from Field Yates in his mock draft, and he said, absent a Godfather-style trade offer, one the Titans cannot refuse, expect Tennessee to take Cam Ward. This is just all speaking of it. It is just foreshadowing everything that is going to happen with this team. Now, we all know Mike Borgonzi has said nothing is set in stone yet, but he just doesn't want people to know truly what he is going to do. I think the Titans are taking Cam Ward. I think it's just guaranteed at this point. We know what the Titans like out of Cam Ward. We know what they've seen. We know the private workouts that they've done, bringing the whole entire organization. It just speaks that they are going to take Cam Ward unless a team like, I don't know, the Giants, which we've already seen that they've jumped up their asking price after that workout. They want 2 first-round picks, second-round pick, third-round pick. I don't think any team is going to do that. I really don't. I think that unless, like they all said it, everybody said it, unless they get something completely stupid, Cam Ward will be a Tennessee Titan. So I asked you guys this at the beginning of the video. I'm going to ask you at the end. Pick a quarterback, Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. Type SS for Shedeur, type CW for Cam Ward. You know my answer. I'm going Cam Ward. I think he is by far the best quarterback in this draft. I really enjoy him. I think he's going to bring a brand new culture to the Tennessee Titans and start that rebuild to get where they were back at least 4 years ago. Don't forget to subscribe to Titans Today. I'm your host, Brett Alper, and as always, tighten up.